Eagles fans, this is the House of Birds podcast. I'm your boy Moochie Moochie. Got my comrades Pablo Gary and Daniel Hit. What's good, fellas? Here it is. We won. Now we're 4-6. We're going to
Hmm.
be 5-6 when it comes to Sunday against the Saints. Uh, Before we get into the Saints, would we like to talk about what happened last Sunday? I mean, even though everybody already knows, but apologies that we didn't, put on for y'all for Sunday, but now here it is. It's Wednesday, and let's just talk football. So, what's your thoughts on the last game?
Yeah, I think, as you guys can see, I got on my little my Christmas hat. I've been saying this, from day one, man. Jalen Hurts has been nothing but a miracle and a gift to the Philadelphia Eagles. We found a gift in the second round. We have our franchise quarterback. Christmas came early. This is a gift that, we're going to be able to enjoy for the next decade or so, maybe the next 20 years, the way some guys are playing. You think about Russell Wilson, how he's talking about playing another 20 years. You look at Tom Brady and guys like that. But Jalen Hurts, man, um, just gets better and better. I don't care about the interceptions. I care about, his poise. I care about, how he continues to lead when the team is up and when the team is down. And this is something that we're, you know, Eagles fans, we're just not used to in Philadelphia, to be quite, frank. I mean, when we were, losing, with, Carson Wentz as our quarterback, it just was haywire. There was no sense of consistency. And when you talk about a guy like Jalen Hurts, 23 years old, you can't do nothing but get excited, but I honestly wasn't able to watch the game in its entirety, but I was able to check out some of the clips and just making play after play after play. And you just have to imagine the Philadelphia Eagles when Jalen Hurts actually gets some pieces around him. You know what I mean? And you love to see Devontae Smith. I mean, he should have been a top 5 pick because he's just killing guys out there. You know what I mean? Going against Patrick Surtain the second, pretty much put a clinic on him. He just was looking just foolish all over the place. And Devontae just continued to capitalize. And, this is what you just love to see, man. And I didn't think I would say this, but my leash for Nick Sirianni has gotten a little longer because he has, if there's anything that he's done, he was able to identify, drop his pride, and sit up there and say, okay, this wasn't working. This is working. So let me stick to this. And that's something that I can respect. When the coach sits up there and says, okay, my philosophy, passing the ball is not working, but when I run the ball, it works, and you stick to it. I gotta respect that. And I think now we're just trying to get Jonathan Gannon to drop his pride a little bit. And I think once we do that and all phases start to play on the same level, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to continue to have success.
Great points. Because I was about to say, are you preferring to the run game? And actually, after they ran the ball, I mean, I was just shocked. All of a sudden, with Boston Scott, how he just, for one, I didn't even know or realize they was even going to start him. They started him, then they had Jordan Howard. So, but before I get into it, what's your thoughts, Dan?
Uh, I definitely love the identity of this football team, helping a young QB, especially a very mobile QB, helping him with the run game because I mean he is arguably the second best rushing QB to Lamar Jackson. I mean, you look at the numbers, he's 11th in the NFL in rushing yards as a quarterback,
Mm.
and Lamar's 7th. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, and he has more rushing touchdowns. And then you think about that, he's also top 10 in yards per attempt in his throws. So it's like arguably Jalen's playing like a top 12, top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and it's only his first real starting season.
All right, so before we get into the Saints game, far as being in with this with the Broncos, um let's talk about the defense. Do you think the defense was not? I'm not going to say superb, but they was different. Meaning, as they was getting into it, they had a little altercation as far as like with Maddox, like far as some taunting. I don't really think he was taunting, or I just don't know what he was saying. I understand he was standing over over the ball and he said a few words, but it was probably all just for jokes and all like, yeah, I hit you, I got you now, say something now type. But then obviously the referee probably said something different. Um, TJ Edwards. I mean, I wasn't really always a fan, but now I'm definitely. It feels like he's like the hardest hitter, or he knows his space, or I guess he knows his identity of the football team. Far as
Right,
being,
right.
I think is he a middle linebacker now, or is he still
Yeah.
outside?
No,
All
he's
No,
right,
he's
he's
a
so
middle.
linebacker.
now because it was like this, it was like I was so pro Singleton, now it's leading to Edwards, and now Davion Taylor
Hmm.
feels like he's coming into the mix. So do you feel that, like, I guess as the defense coming around, cause especially with Slay, I mean, he already done, this is what his second touchdown now, far as from the Lions now to the Broncos. Uh, like we already know what he can do, but it's like, should we, or are they telling like Gannon, like, look, let these players play, like let them do what they need to do, like maybe they need to blitz more, stop having them so far off the ball, like. I mean, is the identity coming around, or like you said, pride? Is he letting his pride go, or will he let his pride go when it comes time to the Saints teams? So like everybody's saying the offense is coming around, the defense is coming around, but are we about to be superb? Like, are we at the moment where, all right, that we can say this Sunday we are going to become 5-6, or now we're going to become 6-6, leading on to next coming week? Like, who are we really? Or are we coming about now?
Um, I I don't think we're there just yet. I think we got to be a little bit more consistent on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know. I can say just looking at just looking at the Eagles. Um, you know, I feel the offense is probably there. I think the offense has found their rhythm. Defensively, it's a balance, right? So whenever you got a new coach, he always wants to come in and sort of prove that his defense works, no matter the players that he has to sort of prove his value, right? But I don't think it's gone the way that Jonathan Gannon has planned it to go. And so when you got guys like Fletcher Cox and Javon Hargrave speaking out, now you really don't have a choice. You got to sort of, okay, guys, what do you want to play? All right, what are you seeing out there on the football field? Um, TJ Edwards, I think when it comes to that linebacker room, these guys understand the opportunity that's in front of them, right? Because you got to understand, TJ Edwards is no dummy. Uh, Alex Singleton is no dummy. Davion Taylor is no dummy. These guys know that the Philadelphia Eagles have 3 first-round picks, okay? And they have plenty draft ammunition to go ahead and draft a linebacker high or to get somebody in the second or third round. So
Great point. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
these guys know their time is coming, because think about it. This is not TJ Edwards' first go at it, right? Like he had his opportunity, right? So it was weird because I kind of felt like people was making it seem like TJ Edwards never seen the football field. Like, he has already, you know what I mean? So he has to take advantage. Like the Eagles need to see what they have in him, or else he's just going to be a camp body next year. Alex Singleton, same situation. I think Davion Taylor's a little different just because the Eagles just really revved up his rep count and they really want to see what they have in him. But the secondary, you got to think, man, guys are weird. When you are 4-6, it's different from being 10-0. Okay,
Hmm.
because now you got Avonte Maddox who's sitting up there and saying, if the Eagles are not going to sign me, I got to go ahead and put on some tape for the other 31 teams out there. Okay. Darius Slay, he could be a cap casualty. Okay. So, realistically, he could be a cap casualty, especially when you got 3 first-round picks. So if the Eagles weren't in the draft cap situation that they're in terms of having a bunch of draft picks, I don't know if guys are producing, but because guys are expendable, and the Eagles have options, you're going to see some players start to break out because they got to really put something on tape, just in case the Philadelphia Eagles don't sign them back to this roster.
Gotcha. What you think about Danny?
So I do think so. Talking about like the guys that are gonna be like free agents this offseason, um, I do think we'll re-sign Goddard to an extension. I do think we'll re-sign Maddox. I also do think we'll re-sign T.J. Edwards to a smaller deal, maybe like a 1 or 2 year deal. Um, I do think we're probably gonna let all the rest of our 1 years, like Barnett will definitely be gone. McLeod will probably be gone. Harris will probably be gone. Like a lot of our secondary, like safety wise, are gonna be gone probably. Besides like Marcus Epps and like Kayvon. So I mean that's something that they're probably gonna spend a higher draft pick on is probably like a safety or a corner safety hybrid type thing. Um, and like offensively, I don't know if Rager's just not being used correctly still, or I don't know what it is. But right now, you need a number two, because Quez is good, can be good, but I just don't think he can be a number two next to Devontae. Not yet.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was thinking that Rager he is the weakest link right about now.
Mm,
Because obviously he's just not doing nothing for me. He's not doing nothing for the team. He's just there, and it's interesting to me too now because now that I've been watching this game and like I said, what I was doing, I meant to call you Paulo so I could be like, look at this, look at this, look at that. But
Hmm.
Jalen Hurts has proved me wrong. He's proved me wrong in the instincts of maybe he been looking at so much film that now he's actually well. When I say that, meaning this is the
Ho
problem
ho
that I had
ho!
was he would read his first read, and after that he would run. Now he's in the pocket a little bit more. After he do read, like obviously you showed me that one video where he uh he read his read and he was looking at Quez, but then he wasn't looking at Rager, but he threw to to Smith. But all right, I get that. Maybe he don't. He's still learning, like you said, but he's been in the. It felt like he was in the pocket just a little bit longer, just so he can make
Hmm.
sure he can get a throw off of something unexpected. So
And
yes,
you gotta be in those situations. Just really quick, Moochie. Um, you gotta be in those situations to understand those situations,
mm,
right? Like you gotta be in the pocket where, like, it's like in the off season, right? When you see the guys, running through the drills and they're swiping at the quarterback, like that's one thing, that's okay, but that's not real game reps. Like you got to be thrown in the live fire to understand. Okay, if I got my defensive tackle, pushing me to this spot, I got to get to this spot. You know what I mean? So I think, Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff, and I think we got to, credit the coaching staff. They are coaching him up to be able to say, okay, Jalen, and I don't want to really put this out there because I don't think it's any truth to it all. I don't want to just label Jalen the mobile quarterback or running quarterback because I just think it's literally just there for him, right? Like he's not just hike the ball, take
that's
off.
why. That's why
That's
I
not.
say athletic quarterback.
Yeah, I mean he's not a just hike and take off kind of quarterback. So
so I guess I'm just expecting too much of him as of right
Yes.
now.
yeah, I think that, and I think it's just a growing process. I mean, if you got to let him grow, right? Like every quarterback, every player that is coming through the NFL, everybody knows they got a rookie season. They kind of even just throw away the rookie season, right? But because we're like so passionate in Philadelphia and we want to win and we want to win now, no, in Philly, our rookie season is the second season. But in Washington, their rookie season is really the rookie season, right? So that's what it is. And then the first year, they say, okay, because what they do is they measure his progress from year 1 to year 2, year 3 to year 4. You know what I mean? But in Philly, like, nah, we need you good year 0 to year 0, right? So it's just kind of like how it is in Philadelphia.
they
Not a
just
bad thing, but
Yeah, they always want to win. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everyone wants to win, but every team has to go through a a rough phase, like a transitional phase.
Yeah, and
It happened.
Well, we definitely going through that now.
to add to that, guys, I think, and I talked about this in one of my older videos, is that I think Patrick Mahomes really messed up the NFL, because when you get a guy like Patrick Mahomes who is young, right, comes into the NFL and he just takes off, everybody's looking for the next Patrick Mahomes. Like, we need our franchise quarterback, our $500 million guy
To have,
in a year or two, right?
yeah, like,
Like, this is a microwave league when it comes to quarterbacks. So everybody copies the next team once they see who has the hottest guy, But at the end of the day, it was the Patriots, right, who took Tom Brady in the sixth
mhm.
round, and they stuck with them year after year after year after year, and he got better. And I would even say the Eagles did that with Donovan McNabb, right? Like, he wasn't the best his rookie year, but they stuck with him. They stuck with him. They stuck with him. And what does he do? We go to a couple of NFC championships and the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, to add on, it's like Patrick Mahomes didn't even play his rookie year. Alex Smith was the starter. His whole rookie year, he just sat out. He was the backup. Then he came in. I mean, no one expected him to come in his first year starting, throw 50 touchdowns, and win league MVP. I mean, no one expected that. I mean, that's just crazy to think of that. Even Lamar Jackson, his first full year starting, the Ravens went 14-2, and he was the unanimous MVP and broke Michael Vick's rushing record for a quarterback. I
Hmm.
mean, they're expecting way too much out of a guy that just isn't on a better, as good a team as those two teams were. Those two teams were built to win right away because the Chiefs, they were a playoff team, and all they did was transfer Alex Smith with um, Patrick Mahomes.
They
That's all
had
they
it
did.
both teams also too, Danny. They had championship caliber defenses as well.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Well,
All right, so
I would say Kansas City's wasn't great. It was better their Super Bowl year, but not his first year.
right. All right, so then, now here it is. Before we get into the Saints, what do we need to do? As far as the Broncos, what do we need to do to work on our run game, on our run defense, and because it feels like now our pass defense is coming around again because we have Slay, we got Maddox, Nelson, he's there, but as far as our run defense, I mean, the Broncos tore us up as far as with the run. So, what do you
And what?
think we need to
Well,
do to fix that? I mean,
You go
anybody?
ahead, Danny.
I mean, one thing I will say, I mean, it helps when a running back can't reach a second level or reach the edge. So when corners are most of the time either closer to the corner or pressing the corner, the receivers have a hard time setting the edge. But when they're backed off, the receiver has room to go block, and then the running back will have a little more room to get to the edge instead of when the guy's in press coverage and he has little room, especially when you have corners that are decent tacklers in Slay and Maddox.
I say,
And the
Danny, you
line.
might have to break that down a little bit for those who don't know X's and O's, bro.
So okay, so
Yeah,
like okay, so for
facts.
okay, so we always yell because Jonathan Gannon loves keeping his corners backed off instead
Mm-hmm.
of up on the receiver.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, what that does is the receiver, when they run, let's say, an outside zone or a stretch to a run to the outside of the offensive line, the running backs have more time to go block instead of and set an edge to create more of an angle and easier for the running back to get more yards outside.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when the corners are pressed up, the receivers are already in their block. Unless they sell their route, like let's say they run a streak, unless they sell that super good, more than likely the corner is going to be able to beat them and hold and set an edge to force the running back to go inside and meet a linebacker one on one instead of the linebacker trying to beat the running back outside.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say this, it feel like it still like it sounds like you're talking more about the offense going into the defense. But what about the defense going into the offense? Meaning, what can we do? Or I guess it falls on
We,
Gannon, right? Because
I mean, it falls on Gannon because I do think the receivers. We saw this a little more on Sunday, especially with their good wideouts. We saw the receivers a little more pressed up, at least on one side. Like there were some times where the two on the left were pressed, and then the one on the right was backed off because it was probably a form of like a cover six. But what was his name? Something about running.
I,
What were you gonna say?
I think it's just the talent. I think that's what it boils down to when you look at the Eagles not being able
It's
to.
kind of like instinct too. You have to have that instinct.
Yeah, that too. But for me, it boils down to talent. Teams are not going to, like, even if the Eagles stack the box with 8 in the box, right? Like, teams are still going to run the football. Why? Because nobody respects Rodney McLeod, nobody respects Marcus Epps, or even Kayvon Wallace. So for me, that just boils down to talent. Like, and that's why I said, see, what happened is, um, I did, man, I did. What happens is,
shout out to Richie.
yeah, shout out to you, Richie MC, man. Thank you so much for being on the House of Birds podcast, man. From all of our family to yours, brother.
Yes, sir.
Um, when the Eagles lost to the Cowboys, in particular, I knew we were going to be in trouble because, um, you know, they pretty much gave the entire NFL our blueprint. If you can tire out Fletcher Cox, if you can wear out Javon Hargrave, and if you can get to the second or third rotation of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line, you're gonna win. Why? Because they don't have any linebackers and they don't have any safeties.
Mhm.
So that's what teams do. They just don't stop running the ball. They go right up the A gap, all right. And then once you continue to do that, they're going to hit it to the outside because guess what? Now you're asking Fletcher Cox to attack up, just attack straight, or pretty well. Let me say it so everybody can understand. You're asking Fletcher Cox to go vertical and horizontal. You're asking him to do a T all day long. And that tires guys out, man. I mean, nobody can withstand that, an entire game. And so I don't think it's so much on Jonathan Gannon because you see linebackers playing aggressive. You see this defense and you see the defense making plays. I just think it
Against
just
against bad QBs.
yeah, and that's why I said, hence it's talent. We don't have the talent. Like the Eagles need to draft, and I don't want to be talking about draft stuff here, but we got to go get Kyle Hamilton, man. We got to get somebody that can fit the run, and
Jacoby Dean,
yes, somebody like that.
Brandon Smith.
Yeah, out of Georgia, those guys. So for me, we are what we are. I'm proud that we could just be laying down, man, but we're not laying down. We're super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Guys are still competing. So that's the factor I'm looking at. When you're sitting 4-6, not a lot of teams are going to go 10-0 and then go off to the Super Bowl, right? So you got to kind of put it in perspective, and then each week, okay, are we consistently getting better? And if we are, that's great. But if we're still losing, talent, and then that's when we all blame Howie Roseman.
All right, so what do we do? And so what do we do about Bennett? Like, far as him doing so many,
You mean Derek Barnett?
I mean, Scar, yeah, Derek Barnett.
Um,
What do we do to fix him? Like, I understand he played ball, and I get it. If I'm a coach, I'm gonna say, yeah, he plays his heart out. He just want to win. He would just what like I'm saying excuses for him when I'm at a conference. But what do we really do to him? Like,
You know
far
what?
as him being on the sideline, like we got, like I already know me if I'm a coach and if I see him come over to the sideline behind closed doors or behind the mic, it's yo, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you like, what's up with you? If we need to, when we go to practice, you need to get in a 3-point stand. We're going to practice on the ball, as far as hiking, or because he's killing us.
This is what I'll say. So I want to just slow it down just to beat, and I get the Derek Barnett, like, I get it, like everything that's surrounding him, because he just seems to do like these bonehead plays at the best bonehead times, right? But like this guy, let's not forget he recovered a very very important fumble that got us the Super Bowl. And I'm not going to keep harping on that, but I'm just going to say the Eagles once drafted, Marcus Smith, all right, a former defensive
Who?
end, let right Marcus Smith from Louisville, who couldn't even register one special teams tackle. Okay, let me just throw that out there. So I'm trying to paint the picture like it's Howie Roseman's fault. Why? Okay, why is it Howie Roseman's fault? Okay, here it is. You're talking about a first round pick, right? Who had to sit there, okay, and watch the Philadelphia Eagles go ahead and sign Josh Sweat, who was a fifth or sixth round pick. Dan, you
The
can
same
correct
year.
the
The
same
same year.
year, the same year. So Derek Barnett is watching Josh Sweat get paid his money.
And take
That
his
makes you
spot.
feel a certain way. And sometimes, you know, some guys they just commit penalties when it's affecting them, when it's a problem for them. So I'm just saying some guys actualize it in different ways. Some guys may be vocal about it. Some guys may check out. Some guys may commit penalties just because. Listen, man, it's hard to play in the National Football League with Moochie, Daniel Hilton, Pablo Gary watching you every single Sunday, critiquing you, man. Like these guys are they're on TV being critiqued every single second of their life. And I'm not trying to justify his dumb penalties because they are dumb and you are a former first round pick. And there's just some things that you should not be doing. But what I'm saying is Howie Roseman has not helped him in any way. Okay. He hasn't.
Because yeah, but when you say that, he's a big brother to Josh Sweat, so he was superb in the Super
No, no,
Bowl.
no, 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 no. In the NFL, don't work like that.
But you
Josh
don't.
Sweat, Josh Sweat, Moochie is the big brother because he got
Now,
paid. He
now
got
he is.
paid first.
He got
No,
that
no,
second
no,
contract.
that's facts. But what I'm saying is, if he came in this, but what I'm saying is he was in the
Sweat
Super
was
Bowl.
supposed to be a rotational player, whilst Barnett was drafted to be a franchise defensive end.
Wait a minute. So Sweat was in here.
So,
He
so
was.
they were drafted the same year, and it's very
That's right.
similar. It's
I
very
apologize.
similar
You're
to the
right.
my.
You're right.
It's very similar to the Milata Dillard situation.
Okay.
Dillard, Barnett, first round picks, highly expected to do a lot, franchise caliber players. While Milata and Sweat were late round draft picks that
That's right. I
had
thought there
it
was next year. My fault. Yeah, my
they
apologies.
both had a lot of promise, but they were very raw in their talent.
And this is why I say Howie Roseman. So let's just go over those names really quick. Let's sit right here. Danny, could you repeat the names that you said? I'm going to add to it. You
Jordan
said
Mailata,
Jordan Mailata and
Andre
Andre
Dillard,
Dillard. Okay, so Howie selected Andre Dillard in the first round. He selected Jordan Mailata in
in the
the
seventh
sixth
round,
round, the seventh round. Okay, excuse me. Derek Barnett in the first round. Josh Sweat
I think in fifth,
in the fifth round. Okay. Now I'm going to add another name. Jalen Rager in the first round, Quez Watkins in
in the
the
sixth round.
right.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
you look at that, that's why I says Howie is Howie. It all goes back to Howie because the data is telling us Howie is picking the players at the wrong time. It's telling
Oh, he
us
was picked.
he cannot talent evaluate. And so when I see him with his binoculars on, I'm like, what are you looking at? Because if you knew what you saw, you would have took Quez Watkins in the second round and not the sixth. You would have took Jordan Mailata in the third round, not the seventh, right? And so for me, it's like it's Howie, man. It's Howie.
Howie tries to be the
Gotcha.
smartest person in the room
Yeah.
instead of pick like Devontae Smith was probably one of the first picks where he didn't overthink it. He just drafted the pure baller.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't think about, oh, he's too skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he only plays a slot in Justin Jefferson. Oh, he has a lot of medical history, DK Metcalf. He didn't overthink it. He just did it.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, so now we already in the half of the House of Birds podcast.
Yes,
So
sir.
now let's get into the Saints. Now, before I get into the Saints, good news and bad news. Good news is Miles Sanders is coming back. They said he can activate him on Saturday, so he can be playing on Sunday. If that's the
Well,
case,
they're
Nick
gonna
Sirianni
see.
said, "Huh,
Sirianni said he wanted to see how he looked at practice first.
not a problem." So if he is good in practice, he'll have him start on Sunday. All right, so that's not a bad thing, but the bad part is if he comes in, who do we take out? And if we do take out, do we? I feel that again, you already know who I got on the screen. We need to keep
Mhm.
Jordan Howard in. Boston Scott, he definitely played well. I didn't even expect for him to even play or ball out like that, how he did with the Broncos. And then we have Kenny Gainwell. Now I think we should change Kenny Gainwell to a wide receiver or have him in kick return or a punt return or one of those factors. And then I mean, I'm not gonna say we can kick Jalen Rager off, but I mean, because he's not hurt,
Mm,
but I
Okay.
don't. But how do you feel? But all right, hey, you
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
one so one thing I'll say real quick is go watch the Rams um 49ers game. And Debo Samuel reminds me a lot uh like has the potential to be Gainwell in a way because Gainwell is kind of like a receiver playing running back. And Debo is kind of like a running back playing receiver in a way. They're just like a weapon. They don't have like a position.
hmm yeah,
They're kind of like positionless.
yeah.
I mean, but so are you answering my question? Meaning, so
I
should
think
we
I
take
think
him
they should
off, or we should just keep him as
I
a
think
weapon?
I think they should keep Gainwell around and kind of move him around like they've been doing. Keep move him in the backfield, have him in the slot, have him outside because he can run routes like a receiver. He runs routes with the
But he
receivers at
started
practice.
off as a wide receiver.
Yeah,
That was his natural position. So
yeah. So I mean, like,
yeah,
um,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Moochie, I think both of you guys are like hitting great points. For me, I'm not getting rid of Boston Scott. I'm not getting rid of Jordan Howard,
I'm
Moochie.
not getting rid of either.
I'm not getting rid of Miles Sanders. You know who I am getting rid of?
Jalen Rager.
No, he can do a little production. JJ Arthega-Whiteside.
Oh, I'm not
Why we?
even. I'm not even talking about him.
I mean,
He's
Okay.
irrelevant.
at this point, and again, it goes back to Howie Roseman and his poor drafting. Okay, like why is our third running back better than our? Why is our third running back better than our fifth wide receiver?
Because he's a good blocker.
Because I mean, but he's not. I
Wow.
mean, it's yeah.
Move
For
move
me,
JJ to tight end.
no, bro, no, no. We're not going to pull a Jordan Matthews. He's not even getting any reps over there. I think they just did that just to give him one last hurrah. But for me, I gotta cut. I gotta go. JJ Arthega-Whiteside. I think both of you guys are great points. I would definitely
I wasn't even thinking
move.
about him.
Yeah, I would definitely put Moochie. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll put Moochie at wide receiver. I'll put Moochie at wide receiver. Put him out there, you know what I'm saying? King Moochie towing trucks,
Yeah.
all of that. He
I'll
gonna be
play O
trucking
line.
people.
I'll play O line. You play receiver.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
All right. So how do you feel? What will we do in this Saints game? Like, do you think will it go 30
You
to
gotta
13?
go.
Because again, we're not worried about what Jamin Wilson. What Winston is not in the game, and what's their number one wide receiver? He's not in the game because of his
And
ankle injury.
and it seems like Alvin Kamara is looking to not play this
yeah, I
week.
seen something like that.
So yeah, but I'm not going to rest my head on
Right. I'm not gonna say he's not playing, but they're saying he's more than likely not going to play to rest his ankle to not force it.
But who, who,
then they
who
still got Ingram too, so I'm not sleeping on
Right.
him either.
Right.
but
They still got Ingram.
who's the quarterback though?
Trevor
We
Terry,
don't have
Simeon.
I mean
Trevor
Trevor
Simeon.
Simeon.
Yeah.
Trevor
Trevor
Simeon.
Simeon.
Yeah. I mean he's not let me talk real quick. He's not a bad QB. He's just a very accurate backup. He doesn't
Trevor
really turn
Simeon
the
from the Broncos. Is that
No, the
him?
Vikings. The Vikings.
Was he on the Vikings?
I think he was on the Vikings.
I have no clue. All I know is you might be thinking of Case Keenum.
No.
No,
Trevor
no, no.
Simeon. I think he was with the
Uh-huh.
Broncos. He was nice with the Broncos just for a minute, but I would have never thought he was on the Saints. So
That
what happened to what happened to what's his name? What's
Taysom?
the who?
Taysom Hill?
Yeah, what happened to him?
Well, they're still trying to use him like they're still trying to use him like they normally do, like
Oh,
not
so he's
to
not the starter.
no no
Oh,
they're
all
still
right.
so he was on the Broncos.
Yeah, Travis, because he was a only because when I wanted to do my
It
real
was
estate
the
and all
year
that, I know he's a nice real estate agent on
he's
his
the
off day. But
yeah it
all
was
right,
the
so
year.
now it makes me feel a lot better that the Eagles probably will win because if
I
Trevor
mean,
Simeon is
but I will say that they almost beat they beat the Bucks with Trevor Simeon. Then they almost beat the Titans, who are the number one in the AFC. So
got you,
I'm
Candy.
not saying I'm saying their defense. If they win this game, it'll be because of their defense. Their offense is going to be a very low scoring, very run heavy, with short passes. Their defense, it'll basically be who's going to be better, their defense or our offense.
And that's why I'm asking with Jonathan Gannon, should he blitz more? If we're running, shouldn't we? If they're running the ball, shouldn't we blitz more to contain that run game? Um,
Not necessarily.
Nah, he's too inexperienced of a quarterback. So you can just throw anything at him. He's gonna. Who's on their offensive line? Like, can they contain the Eagles?
Right now, they're starting tackles, Ryan Ramczyk and Teron Armstead, two Pro Bowl tackles, are questionable to play this week. So two Pro Bowl tackles are questionable to play. So I do think that Sweat and or Barnett should have a decent day if both of them aren't playing. And
so
their interior offensive line is not that good, but they do have a they have decent receivers and they have a good run game.
got you. And then on their defense, I'm scared. No, I'm not scared,
Demario
but I
Davis,
and
Demario
what's the
Davis,
what about McAllister? Like is that his name?
Lattimore,
Lattimore.
Lattimore,
Dang, why am I getting these names messed up? Lattimore. I'm pretty sure he's going to be sticking with Devontae Smith, and
probably.
because he was nice and he was thorough with the Titans. I mean, again, the Titans didn't even have a number one wide receiver after the way how Lattimore was playing. So
AJ
I
Brown
mean,
is a lot different than Devontae. AJ Brown isn't a big separator. He's a very big receiver, while Devontae is more of shifty and arguably a better route runner. So he might be able to break open, but it will question who's going to be the number two, especially if Goddard isn't going to be playing. Who's going to be the number two that steps up to help Jalen if Devontae is covered?
Yeah,
well,
there's nobody on that secondary that can strap up
Well,
Devontae
that's why
Smith.
I said it'll be a question.
Yeah, there's
well,
nobody.
like you said, Pablo, from I don't what was I forgot what game that was. Maybe it was the Lions game where you said uh Rager he's nice on the run when he do like when he do a reverse.
The end
So if they can
around.
get I'm sorry.
You mean that like when the Eagles implement them to do like the end of rounds and stuff like that?
Hmm.
Right. So I mean that's the best thing he's doing right now. 'Cause other than that, he's
But
not
but
catching
Well,
nothing.
the
but
all right.
I told you guys that Jalen Rager he's Nelson Aguilar all over again. Like, don't look at the body style.
It's it's not.
Look at the matriculation of his career. Look how it's
So
progressing.
one
It's
thing
just like Jalen. It's just like, hold on, Danny. It's just
yeah,
like Nelson Aguilar. Like Nelson
Okay.
Aguilar was his first round pick. It took him 3-4 years to sort of get it figured out. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And this is, I think Jalen Rager is just, I think the whole his father being in the league and trying to live up to that, the hype. And I mean, when you see a guy responding to guys on social media, I think he's just, his headspace is not in the right. He has all the opportunities. It's not like he doesn't have the opportunities. I just don't think he fits this offense. And when you look at the Eagles offense and you look at Devontae Smith, the Eagles needed someone who can literally get open. Jalen Rager can't get open. Maybe he can make contested one-handed catches in training camp, but when you put him out there game day, he's not getting open. That's why everybody wanted Justin Jefferson, right? Because he can route people up, he can separate and get open. The Eagles need wide receivers who can separate and get open. And Jalen Reagor is just not it. So that's why they gotta, if you can't get open in the NFL, guess what you turn into? You become a gadget player. If you can't run routes, that's what you are, a gadget player.
That's it's like
So
I'm not. Hold up, real quick. One thing I will say is that very similar with Aguilar and Rager is they both, and this isn't their fault. They were drafted way too high. They're like third, fourth round receivers, not first round receivers. So they were held to a very high standard when they weren't that good of a player.
Yeah, Richie MC says
yeah,
Philly crowd needs to give Lattimore a Lillard, sorry, type greeting this Sunday. Saints are a more rebuilding team than our Eagles. And in the offseason, they're going to want to get younger.
Lattimore is young. Lattimore's like 25.
that's it. Why do I
Yeah,
think he was older than
Lattimore's
that?
young. Hold
I
up.
thought he was like at least 28, 29.
Now he
No,
came in at like 21.
Oh
he's
wow, okay.
I think he's on
Marshawn
his
Marshawn Lattimore is 25.
I think he's on his first year of his on the mega deal, on the mega contract that he
He
got.
was drafted.
Did he win a
Uh,
Super Bowl?
no,
Okay.
he
Only
was
because I don't.
drafted in 2017 in the first round.
Why do it feel like he been in the league for a minute? I guess maybe because how he was playing then. I don't know.
He's been
Um,
around since our Super Bowl year. He was the same year as Barnett.
and was he in the year where when
Yes,
oh
when it
yeah,
went through
yeah, he
Alshon's hand.
yeah, okay, got you. Okay, that's why I don't know. That's why I thought he was in the league for so long.
That seems
All
like
right,
so
so
long ago.
it looks like it's promising then. It feels like we definitely going to be winning this game Sunday when it comes to it. How I see it and how we're talking right now cuz I feel more relaxed, I feel more rejuvenated because of how everybody is almost playing out and it's just all about us keeping everything together. I just want to see how Nick Sirianni is going to play again this year, this week, because again, I just had not high hopes, but it was like, all right, here we go again with the throws, and then I was like, oh
I
wow, all right, the first, even though it was a running play or he ran off, and then the next one, Boston Scott just he peeled off with no with promising. Like he was out with 10 yards and I was hyped and I was ecstatic. Like, wow, this is crazy how he's playing this game now. Now we getting something rolling. So now we getting something together. So um
Can I ask you guys a question?
yeah.
And to the fans viewing the House of Birds podcast, thank you guys again. We'll take a quick special break for you guys. Thank you guys so much for being with us tonight. This question is for you as well. Uh, the Eagles are 4-6.
mhm.
Are we expecting? Is anyone getting playoff vibes out of
A
this
lot of
roster right now?
I've
Like, are we thinking
I,
playoffs, or are we still trying to progress and just see what we have in Jalen Hurts? Like, there's a lot of evaluation that has to be done right now. You got a group of Eagles fans who's still trying to evaluate Jalen Hurts. You got a group of Eagles fans who says he's the guy and we're trying to get to the playoffs. You got a group of guys who's saying that Nick Sirianni needs to be fired still, and John DeGannon. Like, just what are we looking at when we're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles? Is this a playoff team? Can we make a big run, or are we still trying to put it together? Because what I don't want to do is confuse folks and just make it seem like, oh, the Eagles we've arrived. Because I mean, come on, guys, we're playing teams with quarterbacks like Trevor Siemian, right? Like
so one thing I will answer the question. Um, is I
You
think we're
see what
kind of
Richie's saying.
11 and
11 and
6. Yeah.
6.
Okay. Okay. Relax. Okay. But I do think the national media is starting to pay attention a little more to the Eagles, especially with the way Jalen Hurts has been playing the past couple games because he's leading the league the past 3 or 4 weeks in QBR, which is something to say because QBR is a harder stat to justify. But um, I do think this team is in a middle ground where because our schedule is so easy the remaining of the year that people are saying we can push for the playoffs, but you also want to learn what this roster could be because let's say we end up going 8-9, 9-8, and making it as the seventh seed. Would you say that is a good year? Like, are we good enough? Are we good? Are we saying we're good enough that we're okay with a later draft pick, or would you rather just develop, not worry about playoffs? If we get there, we get there. Not worry about it, and just say, let's say we finish 7-10, but we show promise and fight in all our games, even though all our games are very winnable.
I mean, look, I'm just glad that we in the hunt. I mean, as long as we have, at least we have an identity. After last week, and after coming into this week, knowing that it's like finally, yes, Nick Sirianni, he's actually playing the game how we want him to be playing the game. Because if he was still doing that same old RPOs, I mean, if you break the RPO down just a tad, and we getting somewhere, then all right. But I'm just glad that we in the hunt. I'm not saying we're gonna go 11-6. As long as we just playing good football, I'm fine with it. As of right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at this team, and whatever happens, I'm okay. Because like I said, I'm wearing my Santa Claus hat, and it's because I really believe with every fiber in my soul that the Philadelphia Eagles have found their franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts. I don't know what more you can ask from him to do. When you truly evaluate him with the draft capital that the Eagles can have moving forward, I mean we will have moving forward. It's exciting times in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? And if we finish like Danny said, 9-8 or 7-9, to come out okay, to come out a year later after you've given up who you thought was going to be your franchise quarterback to find your franchise quarterback. That's where you want to be. I mean, that's a hell of a spot. You win a Super Bowl with, well, he helped you win a Super Bowl with the guy who you thought was going to be here. You get rid of him. At least we're not in a position where it's like, Jalen's a dud. You know what I mean? And then I think we're because then all of a sudden, two of those first round picks are draft capital, because where we're sitting right now, we don't have a top 5 pick, right? So we wouldn't get the top
Actually,
quarterback.
we do have a top 5.
I mean, far as like having two
Okay, yeah,
picks that could probably
yeah.
get us
Right,
to get, I mean, we probably
right
could.
now, right now we have 5, 10, and 15.
Right. And I'm sure we could trade. We would have to, pretty much what I'm saying is, to get the guy, you got to trade all 3.
But none of the guys coming out are good enough to.
Right. Yeah, we understand that. But my point is, the Eagles don't even have to go that route. Now we can allocate all of that 5, 10, and 15 to the defense, to the offense, maybe adding a player or adding 2 players on defense. So for me, I think I'm, like I said, man, 2 weeks ago, I accepted the fact that the Eagles weren't going to be a, winning team. And there's still a long, long, long way to go. And I'm not giving up on the Philadelphia Eagles at all. I have just tempered my expectations. We have a rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, rookie defensive coordinator, period. For me, that's where we are. The facts are the facts.
What do you call it? So one thing I will say is I was hearing this. Dan Orlovsky was talking about this on NFL Live today. They were talking about Jalen Hurts, and they were saying, listen, the only guy with a better touchdown to interception ratio in his first 14 games is Justin Herbert, who broke all the rookie quarterback records. So that's the only guy that has a better touchdown to interception ratio in their first 14 games. And that's with not just passing, but that's also with rushing, because Jalen, I think, has 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns in his first 14 games. So,
yeah, Howie Roseman is on my evil list. That's he's on my
naughty list. Yeah,
he's naughty by nature. This dude, he drafts stink by nature. It's just who he is.
And since we're kind of talking about the offense, so I got some numbers that compare from this year to last year. Third down percentage last year was 37%, was 28th in the league. This year, our third down percentage is 44%, which is sixth in the league. So we went from 28 to sixth. Red zone
Mm.
scoring was 60%, 13th. This year it's 69%,
So who
sixth
do
in the
you?
league.
Not to cut you off, but give me some context. Who are you crediting?
So I'm crediting Jalen because, but I'm also crediting. I do think our roster got decently better offensively because Devontae Smith has been Hurts' number one guy. He's leading the league, and he's leading our team in targets by a long shot. Sirianni, even so, here's the thing. Even when you have an athletically gifted quarterback, it helps a lot in the red zone because it's harder to contain an athletic quarterback in the red zone when they have that ability to use their legs, not when you just have a pocket passer.
I hate the
Gotcha.
word. I hate the word athletic because
So I'm I'm
I know
trying
what
I'm
it really.
trying to find a word.
Yeah, you got to find another word because it's pretty much when you have a white quarterback that can sit back there and throw the ball, but there's a black quarterback who can find a way to escape. Like he's a quarterback.
Okay,
Like he's a quarterback. This a quarterback. That's all you
but
gotta
like
say.
like I would say Josh Allen is a mobile quarterback,
I would say he's just a quarterback. To me,
but like it, but
him
you're
and Jalen are the same. I mean, he
but
no,
you're
his arm is way stronger than Jalen Hurts. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that.
I'm trying to just compare. Like you have to have some middle ground. Like Mac Jones is a pure pocket passer. Trevor
Hmm.
Lawrence is a pocket passer with a little bit of mobility.
Hmm.
Zach Wilson is a pocket passer with mobility. Justin Fields and Trey Lance are
Mm, I
aren't
don't know if Zach Wilson is a pocket passer
so
with
he's
mobility. Don't you
so
do that?
I'm
Don't
not
you give
so
him that
I'm
But
pass?
he's a bust this year too. So I
okay.
mean, we just can't.
He reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I give you that. But
And
he
Baker's a
just.
bust too. Baker's a
Yeah,
bust too
I would
because
say
he can't.
I
Baker
do
can't
think
get you over the hump.
the Browns will look to get a QB this offseason.
Ooh.
Oh, you think so?
Well,
Because they said they would.
would you rather pay Baker or
No, no, no.
would you rather just start over and draft a QB?
Not
Start
this
over.
year. They got. I would rather start over, but this year, I mean, Kenny Pickett is
I think
25. You got
I
a
think
25-year-old rookie. These guys are not.
I no, I think Matt
Jesus
Corral
Christ, Danny.
I think Matt Corral and Malik Willis are better than Baker Mayfield.
Whoa, I wouldn't go that far.
Well,
I,
they have a higher upside, we'll say that.
can I
Okay.
say something real quick, guys? I
Yeah.
think one of the things that we didn't point out too, we look at this offense. You talk
Well,
about
Brandon Brooks needs to get traded.
yeah, he has to go. That's Evan. He's Evan Neal to me. But when you look at this offense, um, you know, can we just talk about how this offensive line is crazy in terms of the run game?
Bro,
Like
they're so big. That left side is just big body.
right, and
Mailata and
see,
Dickerson are just big.
right, but
Hmm.
see, I was telling you guys this. I said this in the
No, I
offseason.
remember. Yeah, I know.
I
I know
told
where
you
you're going.
guys.
I know where you're going.
I said Landon Dickerson is he's a late,
Bro, he's a
early
freight
first,
train.
middle round, late first round pick. And now he had to sort of kind of get his legs up under him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now that he does, Jordan
I
Mailata
think he's on practice
next to
squad.
Landon Dickerson is a problem.
Bro, that left side is just big.
That is a problem. You got maulers. They're just literally pushing all the look Raven Clarks back. I mean, they're just
I
pushing
think he went back to
everybody back.
he went back to practice squad.
I was about to say I thought he was on practice squad.
And that's why the Eagles are really having success. A lot of people want to point to Jalen. A lot of people want to point to Devontae and
No,
Nick
the O
Sirianni
line
committed
is
to the run because if the O line couldn't get a push, we wouldn't. That O line we're
is
averaging about 5.9 yards per carry.
this
That
O line is
offensive
built to
line
run the
is
ball.
moving people. I mean,
The,
mauling guys out the way.
look, the
As
O
long as
line.
Jason Kelsey can stay healthy, I'm perfectly fine.
I do think this O line is just built to run the ball. Like Mailata isn't a great left tackle right now, with a pass. Because if you put a speedster on him, we saw that with Hassan Reddick, he'll just run right by him. But if you put Mailata in the run game, oh, that's scary. You got a 6'8", 350 freaking left tackle running at you at full speed. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, man. This I think we've really undervalued this offensive line in the running game, and I think we're okay. We're average, right? Like I think we're middle of the road when it comes to pass protection. But when you look at this team and you turn on the tape, I'm be
It's
honest.
built to run.
When the Eagles run the football, this offensive line is the best in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't honestly. I'm gonna just say this. I'm done with Brandon Brooks.
Brandon Brooks
Like
became Jason
he, he
Peters.
he doesn't even have another Achilles to care. I love the guy. I really do. 33, 34 years old. We can't he and like you said, Danny, he is kind of teetering on that Jason Peters kind of vibe for me, where it's like when you come back, I'm just is he going to get hurt again? We can't because at the time why we're thinking is he going to get hurt again? Howie's wasting money. We're wasting more money. We gotta get younger. You know what I mean? Let's just go a
I'm
different way.
cool. I'm cool with Driscoll right now. Like Driscoll is not playing bad, especially next to Lane. I mean, the guy's not playing bad. He's not giving up a ton of sacks.
Yeah, Brandon Brooks, he has to go. He I'm sorry. We love him. You know, we understand that he had the mental health issue as well. And so he had to
Yeah,
take some
and
time. But for me, I'm not if I'm Howie Roseman, I'm not going to play the Jason Peters game where I'm keeping you till 40 just because you're my guy. Look, we're
Right.
trying to get younger. So you got to go anyway.
Right.
And if I'm the Eagles, I'm going ahead and get my man Evan Neal, who is also going to be a former Alabama alumni, right? You bring him 6'7". Oh my goodness. 6'7", 6'8". Evan Neal with the Jordan Mailata 6'8", with his former teammate from last year, Landon Dickinson, who went to Alabama with a
so
veteran Jason Kelsey. I mean, oh
my
man,
okay.
it's sledding season, guys. It's
So my
sledding season.
so my
I'll give points to Howie Roseman if he makes that happen.
so my only thing is I do. Evan Neal plays tackle. Are you gonna put him in at guard?
Oh yeah, because you know why? I'm gonna put him in that guard just until Lane Johnson is ready to retire, and then he's going right over the right
So
tackle.
the other thing is I've been seeing a lot of mocks where Evan Neal is going as high as 2.
Oh,
That will be good. That will be good for the Eagles because we already know who I want. Santa, can I have Derek Stingley
Well, I've
Jr.?
also I've also been seeing Stingley go at 3, where we are at
He's
5.
not going that high because quarterbacks are going to make a run.
I don't
Quarterbacks
think
yeah.
I don't.
every single
Well,
year we say it and it happens.
so right now, are the Lions gonna skip on Kayvon Thibodeau to take a QB?
I think so. I think you
Why?
have to.
Why?
Because you like Jared Goff is not the answer.
Right, but why would
So
you skip on a generational talent in Kayvon Thibodeau to draft a
it
mid
happens all the
QB?
time. When
But
you're
like this is like a Miles Garrett. This is like a Browns
nah, I don't
drafting
know.
Miles Garrett. He's got the potential to be Miles Garrett.
I don't know. I don't
That's
know.
what he's
I don't
that's
know.
what he's looking like right now.
Nah, I don't know. He's okay, but I don't even think mark my words, and I'm glad we're recording this. Kayvon Thibodeau has a lot of hype coming out of Oregon, but he won't be the best defensive end coming out of this draft. I promise you that.
Was it gonna be Hutchinson,
I think it's gonna be
the kid from Michigan?
my Jay Sanders.
RJ
My
Sanders.
Jay Sanson.
My
Yeah,
Jay
yeah.
Sanders. I think it's gonna be a guy like him. So we'll see. But I think we're getting to the end of this, Moochie. Are we gonna be talking about the scores and who we
Oh,
think is
for
gonna win
Cincinnati.
or what?
All right, so yeah, so now I'm definitely excited. So we going to win. My
Ooh,
prediction
ooh,
Gonna win.
actually my prediction is going to be 34
holy crap!
24-24 Eagles.
Oh wow.
I said this. Go ahead, Mooch.
Well, only because I feel that Slay is going to be there. He's going to either get another interception or something's going bound to happen as far as on the defensive side. Um, Jalen Hurts, they already know what his position is now, as far as him and with Smith. far as them tagging up, definitely having 2 touchdowns last week. If we're running the ball, if we're running the ball efficiently, and if Miles Sanders is in the game, and then you bring in the bruiser with Jordan Howard, I'm pretty sure he's going to get his touchdown or get his shares. Personally, if it's going to be Sanders, Howard, and Scott, give them divide the ball up. Give them all 10 apiece. Give them 10 apiece. That will wear the defense down, and I'm
I
pretty
think
sure they each can get a touchdown. I
I
promise you.
think I think Howard will get at least 10. If Sanders plays, I think Sanders will get about to 15 to 18.
I'm fine with that. Just as long as I said, just share the ball, and it will wear the defense down. Because you don't know again, thunder and lightning, and then
So
we got
okay.
hell coming in with Boston Scott. I mean,
So
it's nothing that you can't
Richie
you can't stop it.
so Richie's asking for stats for Miles Sanders.
Again, maybe
Look it up,
50.
Richie. Give us the stats, Richie.
No, I think he's
If
talking about far as in this
but
game,
he's asking
right?
that.
Uh,
I would say 15. I'll say 15 for 83, maybe one touchdown. Again, if you put in Jordan Howard, because again,
Well, so one thing I will say is Miles Sanders has something that none of these guys have. It's he's got that one. He could just make one move and he gone.
but he can't. Miles Sanders has a very hard time with um
He's got a hard time reading
running the
holes.
ball in between the tackles.
Yes,
That's what
yeah,
that's
'cause
Jordan
I
Howard
don't like that.
does. They hit the
I don't
hole and
like
they go.
this. I don't like when he gets the ball, he runs like try to stop and then go again. Like just
well.
keep on moving.
He reminds me a lot of Le'Veon Bell.
I knew
That
you was
way,
gonna say that. Yep.
where Le'Veon and him are very similar, is they wait for a hole to open up. Where Jordan Howard, I mean, even if there isn't a hole, Jordan Howard will just run right through the tackles and just make a hole.
Exactly. That's why we
That's
need to
one, but
keep him in.
that's one difference. Where Miles Sanders could hit that edge and just be gone.
I got you.
Uh,
I mean, we saw
I'm,
that last year against the Saints, and it's like the
Yeah.
same defense.
What you got,
yeah.
Pablo?
I'm gonna say the Eagles are gonna lose, and here's why. This just
What a guy!
just listen to me here.
Okay.
Here's why the Eagles are gonna lose, because again, I'm a fan. I love the Eagles. I bleed green. Okay, but I'm a realist. Nick Sirianni has yet to prove me in a high stress situation he can make the correct decisions.
Mm.
Okay, I think he's going to press too much and he's going to be all over the place where he's going to try to feed Miles. He's going to be all over the place pretty much. He's not going to know how many to feed Miles. He's just going to essentially what I'm saying. He's going to be thinking about it too much. Just continue the game plan that you've been doing. Run the freaking football. I say football. Run the football. Just run the football. That's all you got to do is run the football. So for me, although I think it's going to be Jalen Hurts' best game, because remember, he had a lot of success his rookie year against the Saints. So I think he has something
100
going for
rushing
himself.
yards.
Yeah, I think he has something going for himself. It wouldn't surprise me if we won. I don't think, I think there's a chance we could win. But again, I am still on the side of Nick Sirianni has to prove to me that in these high stress situations, in these high pressure moments, you know what to do and just do it, right? Just run the football with Miles. I think he needs to deploy the hot hand tactic. Whoever has the hot hand, you stick
Gets
with
the
them.
ball.
That's just what it is. But if he sort of stresses out in that moment and sort of is all over the place, then guess what? He's going right back to the pass, and now the whole offense is all over the place. So I'm gonna go New Orleans Saints. I'm gonna go Saints
It's gonna be
20.
really low scoring.
I'm gonna go Saints 21. The Eagles 17.
Oh my! Well, we were really close on score. I said Eagles, 20, Saints 17. I do think it's gonna come down to our defense is gonna have to make a stop, and I don't know if the defense can do that against a good offense. Like I'm not gonna say the Broncos are a bad offense, but the Broncos are really good at the run. Teddy Bridgewater's okay, but if you get after Teddy B, especially with that bad O line, you'll kind of like freeze him out, and that's what happened. You made him overthink a couple things. The receivers weren't on point, and everything. The defense was just overall passing wise pretty decent. Wow, the Saints have a offensive genius in Sean Payton. Even with a backup Trevor Simeon, their offense isn't going to be hard, but it's going to be harder to stop because
Gotcha.
we don't know what Gannon looks like against a good offense.
And
And then, okay, go ahead.
can I just say one thing? Just because you said it, I think sometimes we focus a lot on the players and not the coaching matchup. And if I have to pick between Sean Payton, the Super Bowl winning head coach, and his offensive play calling against Jonathan Gannon, a rookie defensive coordinator, I'm going Sean Payton all day
Oh
long.
yeah, of course. That's a
Yes.
great point. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then the other thing I was going to say is their defense is really good against the run. Now, saying that they were really good against the run last year, and we were able to exploit that. Now, the other thing is that was Jalen's first game, while this is Jalen's 15th game. So there is going to be a difference. They'll probably be prepared looking at tape from last year, just trying to contain Jalen. Now the other thing is we're gonna have to see Sirianni and his game plan. If the run stops working, is he gonna commit to the pass or is he gonna continue to push the run game? That's gonna be another question.
And that's
It's
when you put in Jordan Howard. But
well, it's not even that. It's just is he gonna commit to the run game or is he gonna get scared if the run game stops working?
right.
We shall see.
So
All right, well that's
2017.
I got you. There you have it. This is the House of Birds podcast. I'm your host, Moochie Moochie. I got Pablo Gary and I got Daniel Hint. So listen, hopefully, we will touch down on Sunday at 10 o'clock again so we can talk more about this and see where it's hitting for. Will we be 5-6 or will we be
4-7.
5-6 or 4-7? Yeah. So until then, until next time, we'll definitely be hitting y'all up. Fly
Shout out
Eagles
to every
fly. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. Okay, Moochie. Okay. Shout out to everybody who's trying to provide for their families for the holidays and working extra hours and doing things of that nature and all of that. Man, I just know y'all out there working. I just want to say that because I got to do extra hours tomorrow.
Oh, and before same here. And before we get out of here, I want to say pray for Memphis and rest in peace to young Dolph.
Yeah.
That was tragic that happened.
Dude was just trying to get some cookies.
Right, just you know what I'm saying. So it's like we need to think before we do. You know what I'm saying? So
Make sure you hug. Make sure you hug your wife, your kids, your family, sister, brother, mother, cousin, sister, rats. I don't care what you have, cats, dogs. Hug everybody extra tight, man, because you just never know. It could be your last day. House of Birds podcast. We're out.
Bet.
All right, bros.